everybody. So today I am going to be doing a little flip through of this little notebook. It is the notebook that I have chosen to work in for the Memory to Memento course with James Luke Burke Creative. I'm a huge fan of his, and so I'm honored to be an ambassador for this class. I will make sure to put links down below for his YouTube channel, his Instagram. I'm also going to put in a link for the course itself. It is going to be my affiliate link. So if you do purchase the class through that link, I do receive some of the proceeds. I would be extremely grateful if you signed up through that link. It definitely helps support me, my creative process, and me continuing to create. So I'd be very grateful. If you are not comfortable with that, you are more than welcome to sign up through his actual accounts. Like I said, I will post those as well in the description. So don't feel pressured or anything. I just want to make that known that it is an affiliate link. I don't want to deceive anybody or have you buy something and not know. So that being said, let's just dive in to the journal itself because that's what we're here to talk about. This little guy, I actually purchased in the park itself. Scratch that. I purchased it at Disney Springs in the World of Disney store. So you don't have to actually go to the park. I don't know where my wires got crossed there for a minute. I'm sorry about the lighting. I'm sure it's a little strange. I am filming in my boyfriend's basement. I kid you not. I'm quarantining here through all of the COVID-19 stuff. So I'm hunkered down here instead of at home. So limited access to craft supplies, limited access to the world, basically. But sorry if the lighting's a little wonky. I don't have my normal setup. It might actually be better than my normal setup today. But the sun is streaming in this gorgeous window, and I love just being able to look outside at the backyard and the lake. All of this is not what we're here for. Chatty side notes. Just wanted to let you know where I am, I guess. Okay, so let's get into this little book. So I found him at World of Disney. I think you can still get it there. I have not popped into that store. It might have been 2 years now. It's been a minute since I popped in there, but they are pretty good about being consistent with stocking things for a while. Very rarely do you come across something limited edition in there unless it's seasonal related, like maybe Christmas or Halloween. But this is a little bit more of a generic item. My thought behind the purchase was, oh my gosh, this would be a great little journal / thing to document the trip. And so I put it away with all of the Disney stuff from the trip and kind of forgot about it a little bit until the class released. And I thought, oh my gosh, what a perfect way to spend a quarantine doing something creative and productive and getting something done that, you know, kind of deserved a lot of time and care. So this seemed like the perfect thing to use because obviously I purchased it on the actual trip as well. So that made it a little bit more special. I definitely encourage you that if you are going to visit somewhere to check out their stationery assortment and offerings, because you never know what can be a great tool to bring back home. I will say, as we flip through the papers and things like that, it's not the best quality. It was not meant for someone who loves paper crafting. It was meant for someone who, you know, thought this was going to be just a cute souvenir to take home and journal in and enjoy. So enough chatting, let's get into it. So this little guy is, I think I measured him out to be about 6.5 almost, just a little bit over on the binder end. And then he is 9.5. So 9.5 by 6.5. And then the binder part is 1 inch. So getting into it. I love the inside cover because it has like all of these crazy stamp-esque sticker stamp looking pattern. And I just really like all the little things. They've been dying to meet you at Haunted Mansion. It's kind of got this old school vibe too, which I really appreciated. Kind of having the older styles of Walt Disney World headings. So travel journal is what they called it. And it does have line pages, graph pages, craft pages. which is really cool. Storage pouches and stickers. Plan and record all of your vacation memories. So we'll get into it. These are 3-hole punched, which I was a little nervous about. I'll, say that much. But what I did start to think about is it would allow me to punch holes in, say, a patterned scrapbook paper that I have, or a different kind of paper, and insert it a little bit easier than having to deal with tape-ins and tip-ins and all of that. I'm still going to have all of those interactive elements, but this certainly did yield itself to a little bit more flexibility than, say, a pre-bound traveler's notebook. Obviously, if you have watched anything on my channel before, especially on a recent level, welcome if you are new, by the way. Thank you guys so much for tuning into this. But if you have watched any of the content that I've released recently, you will see a ton of pre-made, handmade traveler journal type products. And I really did consider making my own. Obviously I can, but that being said, I really wanted a lot of flexibility with this particular project. Number one, I was coming at it from an ambassador level and learning as I went and trying to apply tutorials. And I really didn't want to pre-make a book and be stuck with it and not be ready for a particular prompt, or feel really bad if I cut into a paper that I really loved, or whatever the case may be. I really wanted to kind of just have an open field of opportunities, and this certainly did yield itself to that. Also, this particular book came from that trip. It just seemed natural. This is what I actually purchased the book for, so it seemed silly not to use it, especially taking on the stance of using my supplies in this, which I feel really bad because I'm kind of going off topic and side ranting a little bit, but if you watched any of my content, that happens every once in a while. Actually, a lot. But I just want to notate that this course has been so great for my creative process, and I really wanted to do the course justice and the material that I was documenting justice. I know that could sound a little bit dramatic, but I take this trip so seriously. And just to give you a little bit of a backstory of the trip itself, I took my mom to Disney for her 60th birthday. Like, I took her. I paid to take my mother to Disney. It was a very large chunk of change. I spent a lot of time planning and plotting, and a lot of heart, soul, and money went into this particular trip. On the other side of that, we had not gone to Disney together since I was 7 years old. Okay, to give you perspective, I am now 29, so I was 27 at the time. It had been 20 years since my mom and I had been in Disney together. My mom and I had not taken a trip just together, just the two of us, I think ever. Well, no, that's a lie. We'd gone to Greenville and back a couple times, one time. Point being, I really had not been on a one-on-one trip with just my mom as an adult ever. So it was a very memorable trip. So it seemed like a perfect time to really dive in and spend some time honing my craft and not rushing through a project like I might tend to do with pictures that maybe are just daily, everyday life pictures. Not to say that they don't deserve that same care and time, but I really just wanted to slow down, especially having the time with all the quarantine stuff. I really knew that I could sit with a thought for a while and really plan out a page and really spend some time on it. I know I'm ranting, but I just really want to hit that hard before we get into the book and before I start filming and posting content regarding the course, or my progress with the course, because that's super important to think about if I'm spending extra time and not rushing through something just to get it uploaded and to share. So back to the book. Sorry for the side rant, admittedly necessary though. So you get all of this lined paper. I haven't counted it. It's a good chunk. I will say this paper is not quality. It's not. I took a test page out just to watercolor on it and really do some pen testing. And I keep that off to the side strictly for that, so that before I use a material on here and waste the page, I have it. For me, it's more of a supplemental kind of thing. It might be something that I can rip up and add along the way, or it might be something that can prove as a half background, or maybe just a page for that, for notes. So I've really not, I played with the one page, kind of ripped it up and tossed it really, or just use it as a scrap page. But I just want to point that out, that if you're looking for a really great quality paper, that, my friends, is not it. That also being said, I have used it as a stencil to put scrapbook pages in or cut down my paper to size or what have you. And it also helps to lay this down and then put your circles so that when you hole punch in the right place. So a little side note there. This is one of the pockets that it includes, and I just realized that they're Velcroed. I did not actually know that until this very moment, truthfully, because I hadn't tried to get into the pockets. That's nifty. That's really neat. And this is very Disney themed, so I really enjoyed that. Like, the stamps will also tell you kind of when that particular thing opened. This is actually really special. April of 1998. If memory serves, that's when we went, because I think Animal Kingdom had only been open for 2 months. So that makes sense. It hadn't even been open a month maybe when we went to Animal Kingdom. And it was the first time I went to Disney. That's the only time I had been to Animal Kingdom too, by the way. This is the craft paper. I haven't played on this yet. I think it'll prove to be a really cool place to do like sketches. Again, these are great supplemental backgrounds for you to just plonk on. This is not something I would mix media in. If you want to mix media, stencil, cut your holes, put your page in. It's worked fine for me. Just be aware that you may have to cut like little bits of edges off or things like that, like account for a little bit of overhang or a little bit that you might have to cut off. This is another one of those pouches. This is a grid paper. This was actually the paper that I tested on, and I did a full page on it. I pulled out another one and did a full page, and it turned out okay. I'm not unhappy with it. Again, it's not the best quality paper, so my colors were a little skewed. They weren't as bright maybe, or they sank into the paper a little bit different. So just as a side note, I'm sorry for like the glare. I'm just kind of realizing that that's happening and I can't really do anything about it right now. So I'm sorry. I can show you that. Maybe that helps. Probably not. But there's your graph paper. Then this is the last pocket that the book includes. And then you get this pack of stickers, which truthfully, I really haven't gone through. I've left all of this in the book and intact as I worked through it so that I could film it at a later point. So it looks like we've got some labels and arrows and hearts. I love these: the Magic Kingdom, Hollywood Studios, Epcot, Animal Kingdom, some photo corners, the little location dots. Is that what they're called? These are cute. I love the little Mickeys and the little hats. And train, planes, word bubbles, check marks, asterisks, not dollar signs, hashtags. That's cute. That's really, really cute, actually. I like that. Okay, so that is the notebook in its entirety. Again, I kind of apologize for the side rant, but I feel like it's worth notating what I'm doing in it to better explain the book so that you don't get a misrepresentation. I think that it is a wonderful book to gift someone with. Maybe someone younger who is starting out with journaling or something like that. Oh my gosh, this is not wanting to go back in. So it may not go back in. We may just pop these in here for the sake of it. Wow, that's a mess. I'm gonna be smart though and put them together like they kind of have them so that they don't rub on paper on the outside. They just rub on each other. Perfect. So I went ahead and took out all of what I've already worked on there just so that I could give an accurate ish review of this guy. I think it's great because when it's full, I'm just going to be able to slide it onto a bookshelf without it being bulging, overflowing, and I can control how big it gets by using this kind of a 3-ring binder system. This is definitely not my norm. Normally I've smash booked trips in the past. I have Project Life trips of the past. Maybe taking this course will inspire me to do a little bit more of a traveler journal style. Obviously making them lately too has really put me in the mood to dip my toes in the water with it. But I think it'll be a slow start. So I don't know that I'll be posting any traveler journal insert type content just yet outside of me making them. Just as a side note, I'm really behind on my Hobonichi as well by spending so much time on this project and working on a couple other things. So I just haven't had the thought to introduce a new memory keeping system just yet. I try to keep my projects in a limited circle so that I don't get overwhelmed or feel like I'm behind. So I know this is all extra ranty, chatty nonsense, but I hope that you are enjoying working on your craft projects in this quarantine, stay at home time, and I hope that you and yours are safe. And until the next video, thanks for watching.